I wasn't going to create a single mother, but I never date one either. I'm not asking for what I'm not giving. I need to be first in my house. Why? Because I'm putting my life on the line. If I'm dating a chick and she's got kids and she's like, well, listen, my kids come first. I respect that, but I can't come second. Welcome to Feelings Not Included. It's a podcast where we keep, shit real. We talk real shit about real shit. Today we got our first male guest, so that's exciting. So I'm going to let my guy go ahead and introduce himself. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. My name is Jerome. I am, as Kai said, the first male guest. I am 32 years old. I am legally single. I'm dating out here. I've seen quite a few things, so I'm looking forward to getting into it, All
right. So we're going to skip. Typically, I got an agenda. I got some questions. I just want to shoot the shit, right? I've been married for a very fucking long time.
Yes,
I'm happy, right? I want to make sure I say that before somebody take that the wrong way. But literally, I went on my last first date, my last official first date in 1992, right? So shit's changed, right? One of my homies I talk to all the time, he in the date market, he's like, oh man, shit ain't the same. Now, I'm going to be 100% real with you. I'm way more difficult on dudes. I'm old school, right? I was raised by a man who said men lead, right? The leaders are men, right? So I look at shit different. But I'm out the market. And my guy tell me all the time, man, your generation is a dead generation, right? So obviously you in a relationship right now, but let's talk a little bit. What is it the last time you were out there, whatever you see with your homies that are out there now, what's it like, man? You know what I'm saying? Bring me up to speed.
Man, it's tough. So one thing that's changed in the past 30 or so years that you dated is technology. Right. The accessibility.
Right, no doubt.
I talk with some of my OGs, they're in their 40s, they're in their 50s and things like that all the time. And there's just this sentiment that, the selection that's out here is a lot more easier to access in 2023 than it may have been in the 90s. Right. So since you have so many more options to choose from dating websites, from social media, catching a flight is no biggie. It's kind of hard to really just focus when I could just say, well, I literally went on a date about a year and a half ago, right before I started dating my current, where I went on a date in Missouri and I live in Atlanta, right? Like, it was not a big deal for me to plan and go to Missouri for a date. Right. It was bad as a motherfucker. I wasn't doing that shit for no fives and sixes, but you have a lot more.
But that was coming.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot more access for men and women, right? Where you just have accessibility to people all across your city, all across the world, as opposed to, 50s, 60s, 70s, you may have just had access to your neighborhood. That's number one.
First off, bro, I wasn't in the 70s. I just want to say I wasn't dating in the 70s. You make me feel bad. I know I'm old. That was 1992, wasn't the 70s, goddammit, but I feel what you're saying.
No. But even so for y'all, like my sister, so my siblings, I'm the youngest of a bunch of goddamn kids. Pops was out here in the 70s, and I got a bunch of siblings. Most of my siblings are in their mid to their late 40s, right? So I had these conversations and things like that, and even them talking in the early 90s where it's like, damn, man, I had to go to the mall to get numbers and shit like that. I'm like, what?
Right, it was getting numbers.
I had to go get numbers. He was writing them on your arms and shit like that. Like, that's
man, whatever you had, fam. Whatever you had.
Bro, I never experienced it. Nowadays, it's to the point where I think a lot of people have became lazy, lazy with dating, where it's just like,
man, no doubt,
you don't even have to leave your goddamn house, bro. Like, I sat up, and this is Feelings Not Included, right? So we explicit.
Absolutely, we keep it 100% real. We don't shade nothing but trees,
bro. So I'm in my 20s. I can't tell you how many women I was able to bed from my bedroom. Like, literally did not have to leave the house. Like, it was ridiculous, the easy access that you have to it. So when you're evaluating the dating process, I think that for men and women, it just kind of becomes where it's just like, if I didn't have to put no effort in over here, why should I have to put effort in over here? Right. And, you have,
okay, I can roll with that.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, so-and-so didn't make me do all this bullshit, so why would I have to do all this nonsense? You know what I mean? And that's for starters. Like, I could talk about this shit all night, but that's just for starters, where it's just like things have changed.
Let me jump in and say something, because I like how you said that. My boy was like, man, if a chick give this motherfucker some pussy on day one, I'm not waiting 3 weeks, right? And that's just, it's just wild, right? It's just, you know what I'm saying? I understand, but I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's kind of crazy. But go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, man, no, and that's real. Where it's just like, I'm not, like, we really as men, path of least resistance. You know what I mean?
We safe auto, bro. We do the bare minimum. I keep it all the way real. I hope they don't sue me using a fucking phrase. Just do the bare minimum.
You know what I mean? Where it's just like, it's the path of least resistance. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some women out here that I've seen where it's like, I'm definitely going to take some extra steps. But then once I see you let Mr. Prison Man, who just got out, you know what I mean, walking around with a goddamn trash bag, it's like, what, I don't understand it. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of...
I can explain that to you, though. That part I can explain to you.
Okay.
I'm going to be real, right? Like I said, I've been in a relationship a long time, right? Our kids are grown, all that shit. I've realized, because growing up, I did a lot of traveling. When my kids were, little, I did a lot of traveling. My wife ran everything. And I'm probably going to catch major hell for these next few statements, but I'm going to say them anyway.
Yeah.
The average woman to even the above average woman, life is boring. Boring as fuck. I'm compared to men's, right? They are at home, they're cooking, cleaning, taking care of kids, they're doing laundry, sometimes multiple times in a day, right? Hold on, Phil. I see Phil right there. Oh, let me let him in. I want him to run off on us.
Okay.
So Phil here. What's up, fam? But let me finish this statement here, right? So women's lives, for the most part, are boring, right? And I know I'm gonna catch hell for that, but I'm gonna be honest, right? So as my kids got grown and moved out, and I was home more, I started to realize I'm like, damn, right? None of this shit look fun to me, right? Like, we go out with our homies, we get fucked up, we get drunk, we kick it, we take trips. That shit is fun. A man's life is fun. I'm not gonna lie. And in the worst case, they'd be like, oh, bro, you tripping, you need to chill more, right? That's the extent of it. A woman, if she do the shit we do, she getting fucked up. So I understand the desire for the excitement, because a standard woman's life is, and I know I'm gonna catch hell, but it's boring, right? This shit's not fun, right? I don't know, women grew up wanting to be wives and princesses and shit because they saw shit on TV, but that shit is, I don't know, fam.
Well,
I don't know.
So that makes sense, right? But I think in this new generation, these chicks they not waiting for no man when it comes to excitement and fun. You seen girls trip. Phil, you seen girls trip. Like, that shit was not no fantasy. Like, that was a real life weekend in New Orleans for a bunch of middle-aged women going out, getting fucked up, finding young men to sleep with. Like, I think it's a matter of, can you add to my excitement? Not can you bring excitement, because I'm already out here trying to do shit, and what can you match my energy? Like, that's a whole nother thing. Or it's just like, can you add to it? Because if I feel like you dragging me down, or you're not bringing this type of excitement that Pookie or Ray Ray or whatever the case may do, then it's a dub. You know what I mean?
What's a Pookie and Ray Ray? Because my God be throwing that out there. Somebody tell me what's Pookie and Ray Ray?
Everybody got a Pookie and Ray Ray in their neighborhood.
But what's a Pookie? What's a Pookie and Ray Ray? Hey, that's cool. Bring me in, bro. I'm out the loop.
Or is it Tyrone?
Tyrone.
Pookie and Ray Ray, and they always got weed, and they always look fly, but they ain't had a legal job in
That's
like
the nigga
12
with the Hellcat.
Okay, this is the street cats, right? It's the street cats, right? It's the dope boys. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, they out here. Well, how they get their money is how they get their money, but they ain't punching no clock, and they ain't got no
right.
January. That's what I'm sure.
Insurance on that.
They got no life insurance. They just GoFundMe with a name on the t-shirt. But he had all the hoes.
Right.
He had all the hoes.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I look around and so, I say we, right? When I say I got a lot of female friends who talk to me and the wife. I won't get no fucking trouble. I don't nobody mad at me. But I see a lot of females, and I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm old school, right? So like you said earlier, that we had to go to the mall, we had to jump on the bus, we had to get phone numbers. We was okay with rejection, right? Dudes today, to me, look a little soft. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a different world for men.
But you hear
right?
all the time how the dudes be shooting the girls because of stuff like
right.
that.
She said no. She broke up with me. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, it's a different breed of dudes today, right? I see my homies on Facebook facing out in the ocean. Somebody took the picture behind them. I'm like, bro, who had your phone? Right? Because that's the type of cat I am. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, who had your phone? Because that's weird to me, right? And I've had a passport for 20 years. I done traveled the whole world. It's a new movement with the passport bros. I support it. But why y'all getting mad at people for complaining when you posting stories about you tricking on a prostitute? Don't get me wrong. Dudes in my day spend money on chicks. But you know who knew about it? Him and the chick. Right? Nobody else. And they like, oh, they hating on us. Bro, they not hating on us. Y'all putting the info out there like female. Right. That's female talk. So to me, when and I'll be making some of my homies mad. I'm like, dude, today dudes are weak. Y'all don't know how to take rejection. And I say y'all, not y'all, right? But a lot of dudes today don't know how to take rejection. They don't know how to be a man. Like, I could probably go outside and not find 10 people who know how to change a motherfucking tire. Like, we different. And it goes back to what you said about social media and being lazy. We safe auto, bro. That's what we always been. In my day, you couldn't get no pussy if you didn't take a chick out of the house and do other shit. And now you can, right? My boys laugh at me because we go out, you know what I'm saying? And I run from these hoes. I'm gonna keep it real, right? Because we be out there I'm running. I'm legit running. I'm not giving it up, right? Every man, every woman, when somebody tries to hit on you, you think about it. I'm gonna be real. You have to think about it to say no, right? You can't just say no. I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. You can say no, but it has to cross your mind so you can say no, right? And some of us do it faster or slower than others. But I don't know, bro. These dudes today I don't know what happened. They had or something.
But you made a good point, right? Where you were saying how like these dudes is weak, they can't take rejection. I think it's a matter of who set that standard, who lowered the standard, who was the first chick that accepted a house date, right? Like, let's go back to 2014, 2013 when Netflix and chill started.
Before that, man.
It was.
I think it was a little before that too.
I'm younger than y'all, right?
You ain't gotta call us old, fam. Because I know I'm the oldest motherfucker here. So you don't gotta do that. Just
we had already did all that, but we was doing that back in like 2004.
Like,
the internet changed game.
On the back stairs, like, oh, come hang out, shorty, and they would come and yeah, it was like that back in 2006.
So men are only going to do what men allow. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm with you.
You're only going to do what women allow. You know what I mean? To the point where it's like, yes, the standard has been lowered, but whoever gave some pussy to a nigga that wouldn't even leave the house, you set the bar low. You know what I mean? Women need to find that chick and stomp her ass out.
Hey,
because she's
I'm with you 100%.
So do we blame the first one or the ones that followed?
Listen. Here's I'm gonna break it down, right? If everybody at your job started taking less money at all the jobs across the goddamn nation, you gotta take less money too, whether you want to or not.
Oh yeah.
So the chicks that don't want to give up the ass don't get date 2, date 3. So they out here fucking for no reason, right? Because so they want to see a face. It's I don't know how to fix it, bro. It's crazy.
It's a supply and like even like looking at it from a work perspective, like work from home options 4 or 5 years ago was on a case by case.
Unheard of.
It was
right,
not like
of.
It was rare. And then 2020 happened, and all these businesses started having these work remote options because they had to. And now it's at the point where you damn near can't even hire somebody.
Man,
great options because
cashier at Walmart want to work remote. Like, how the fuck you gonna do that? All right, you the motherfucking pizza delivery man, and you want to work from the crib, bro? How that work?
But
that's where we at.
Yeah, Amazon. So it's just a matter of whoever set that bar. You know what I mean? And that's the thing.
Yes, sir.
Now, how do you fix it? I got some theories, and they kind of wild. We can kind of get
spit on them. Bro, just put it out there.
I think it's a matter of, as a community, and I've talked to a lot of women about this shit. Like, as a community, the people that are raising their kids to actually have, like, so, and this is kind of long-winded, so work with me here, so I'm going to try to keep it short.
No doubt.
You know, if you're looking at, like, 50s, 60s, 70s, right, way, way back before our time even, right, you had a community to the point where Miss Baker down the street, if she caught you doing something bad, she could whoop your ass.
Tow your ass up.
Would have no issue with it because we know
tow your ass up too.
Is raised on the same values and ethics that I was. So if she's whooping you, it had to be for a good reason, right?
Absolutely, got 2 whoopings.
20, 30, not 20, 50 years or so, I don't even know my fucking neighbors. Like, if my neighbors say shit, the teachers can't even discipline these goddamn kids, right? So I'm trying to bring back that community to the point where it's like, if I'm raising a kid and you're raising a kid and Philip is raising a kid, and I notice you guys are raising these kids with decent values and shit like that, once our kids get to dating age, remember when I was talking on your Facebook page about arranged marriages? I'm not talking about arranged like you actually have to marry this person or else, but I'm raising my kids in the vicinity of people that have morals and values and ethics and shit.
Absolutely.
Or once it gets to the point where your children or your grandchildren or Philip's kids and my kids get to the dating age, and I know he got some goddamn sense, go on over there and play with them. You know what I mean? Go on over there and hang out with them.
Right.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's real shit. You know, again, I'm old school, right? And I'm going to say that a lot. I'm a firm believer in men being leaders, right? Mm-hmm. So I look at my son, you know, my kids, they grew, you know, again, my kids are grown, I'm old. But I look at all their friends when they grew up, especially my son's friends, right? One of his friends is a doctor. Another one got 100 years in the joint, right? Another one got a couple kids. Another one did some carjackings. But when I look at the overall, what's the difference? Pops was in the house, or Pops was in his life, right? Black men need that shit, right? And a lot of, especially young black kids or young mixed kids. My kids are mixed. You know, my wife, white, everybody know it. Some of my son's friends, a lot of his friends are mixed, white, Mexican, whatever. With a lack of a black man leading, then these kids are destined for failure, because it doesn't matter if your mama white, your mama Mexican, Chinese, whatever. At the end of the day, when you get pulled over, them lights starts, you black.
Yep.
Right. And I think,
nigga.
I think, you're right. I like how, but real shit, you gotta, we need to raise our kids. It don't matter if you with the baby mama or not, and me and one of my homies go round and round. He's like, oh man, these bitches, blah, blah, blah. They having kids with motherfuckers they know ain't gonna raise. But at the end of the day, bro, it is your responsibility to plant a seed to raise it. Right. And that's what's killing us. Right. Because if you look at the streets and all the cats that are shooting and doing all this other shit, they come from fatherless homes. Yep. You don't have to like that chick to smash that chick, but you got to raise that child. And that's what's killing us. Right. But again, I'm going to say it, I'm old school. Right. If when we were growing up, if a chick was dating a dude and somebody else took her, your bitch chose me. Right. That was our word.
Right.
Now dude's like, man, I ain't getting a car with that chick. She might have a crazy ex-boyfriend. Right. It's a different fucking world. Right. We could go out. Right. We could go out with chicks who had a different boyfriend last week. And hey, we might have to argue. Right. But that was the extent of that. Now they up in the strap, they dumping and they ain't been together. They spent one night together.
Now you most definitely better be ready to blow first, because these boys out here ain't playing.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different level.
It is, man. And I will say this, like, even from the dating perspective, as I look at women and things like that, like, there's definitely categories in my head on if you were raised with a father or whatever. I grew up with two parents in the house. My parents almost been married for 40 years. They're making 39 years this year. I never knew dads on the weekends, moms on the weekdays, whatever the case was. That wasn't the reality. So I have a different perspective of actually seeing a core family work and operate. So when I talk to these chicks, it's kind of from a compatibility perspective. You don't even know what that looks like, right? Like, you've never experienced it. Right. It's your fault, but it's kind of like we're kind of starting behind the eight ball from the dating perspective, because this is just some shit that you don't know, right? Like, I know how hard marriages are because I observed one. It was a bitch. There was years and time periods.
That's life, bro.
Didn't necessarily like each other. Right. Like, but they stayed together, and here they are in their mid 60s, been together since their early 30s or late 20s. Sorry. So it's like, it is something where if I'm looking at having children, number one, I don't want to do it out of wedlock. I don't have any kids, by the way. I don't want to do it out of wedlock. Right. And then number two, it's like, I don't really foresee myself being in a stepdad situation, because
man, fuck the kids. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like, it's different.
I'm not doing it either, fam. I don't give a fuck what happened.
It's not my fault, right? So I think that kind of narrows my dating pool personally, because that's just something that I'm looking for from like a core family value. And even the women that I have, met and had chemistry and a connection and shit like that, it's just like, you can't really see that and see how this could be a problem down the line because you never experienced it. You know what I mean? So from a male's perspective of a person that is in his early 30s, don't have kids, whatever the case is, it's a shit show. It's a shit show out here. You know what I mean?
Man, you're supposed to be out here selling yourself, bro, because you a commodity. I'm going to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? You over 30 with no kids, you're supposed to be for sale. It's not like slave sale. I want to make sure I clarify.
El Dorado. We done stumbled on El
Dorado. Right. Bro, I wasn't blessed like you were in the aspect, my mom and dad were together, and then they got a divorce, but my pops was in my life my whole life. But I remember I was like 12 years old. One day it was like 2, 3 in the morning. I come down the steps and my mom's crying, and I'm a nosy little dude, right? So I peek my head around the corner. She crying while she doing these bills. And so, me, I'm a little kid. I'm gonna cry too. I don't know what we crying about, but we're gonna cry together. You know what I'm saying? So I went over there and, mom's like, oh, I'm just trying to figure out some stuff. Don't worry about blah, blah. Bro, at 12 years old, I knew I would not have kids in multiple places. And my dad did, that wasn't my dad's scenario, but I'm like, I'm going to be at home, right? I'm going to work through this because, my biggest fear was having 2 kids in 2 different places and having to go to a Christmas program, right? At 2 different schools. You can't make them both, right? You could be late to one or early to one, but you can't make them both. And I said, man, I'm never going to put myself in that situation or my, at the time I was still young, my baby mama. I'm never going to put my baby mama in that situation. So I've always been a believer that I was not going to do that. But on that same token, I wasn't going to create a single mother, but I never date one either. And I don't mean that in no disrespect to the single moms, right? I wanted my own family, right? I wanted to, everybody in my house that grew up in my house, they got my last name from me. I gave it to my wife. We created our kids, right? I gave it to them. That's what I wanted. I don't knock nobody. I had a stepdad. I don't knock nobody for that shit. That's not me, right? Because I'm the wrong dude. I'm gonna keep it real. Because I'm like, if we going to eat, I got mine and mine. Right? Bro. He got a daddy. Let's call him. Cash out me, homie. That wasn't out back then, but still.
Preach.
So, kids, huh? I mean, I'm not. But listen. I won't create one. I won't date one. That was my rules. Okay. Right. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not asking for what I'm not giving. Right. I mean, that's to me, that's a fair exchange. So what is it like? Right. Because the majority of people today are women. You know, in our community, are single mothers. Is that a difficult? Because, like, to me, again, I'm gonna say it a lot. I'm old school. I come first in my house, and I don't mean if there's one chicken wing, fuck them kids, right? Nah, that's not what I'm saying, right? But I'm saying, like, from my perspective, I date my wife, right? We go out, we do all this shit. We've always done this shit because in the back of my head, my kids were gonna get grown one day and leave, and if all I had was children, when they left, I wouldn't have shit, right? But I need to be first in my house. Why? Because I'm putting my life on the line. Yeah. Right, I'm every dollar I make is for y'all. Every place I go is for y'all. Right, I spent a lot of time in different countries and in crazy ass situations working. And then I was just telling the story earlier because I had some people over. We were in New Orleans one time, me, myself, my wife, and the kids. And bro, I saw it had to be a fucking mountain lion. I think the motherfucker got out the zoo or something. I told my wife and kids, listen, y'all go ahead and find a building. I'm finna fight to the death with a goddamn cat I know I can't beat because. I guess because I'm the man, right? That's my fucking role, right? And it's crazy because we don't ask for a lot. You know what I'm saying? Most of us are like, hey, listen, you don't gotta love me, respect what I do, appreciate what I do, right? You'll grow up and love and respect and understand what I was doing when you were young. But we don't ask for a lot. Most of us, we'll put our life on the line. If somebody break in, I don't know, nobody's gonna send their baby mama, wife, kids to get the dough. Right? I will say first and foremost, I never want to get shot. But if somebody break in, I'm grabbing my pistol. I got to go see if they got a gun, right? That's my job, right? Yep. So, but I'm not, bro. I can't do that for nobody else, right? I just can't do it for them. And if I'm dating a chick and she's got kids and she's like, well, listen, my kids come first. I respect that, but I can't come second, right? Yeah. I'm not saying you got to feed me when there's only enough food for. I'm gonna obviously feed the kids. I'm gonna make sure kids have clothes, but if there's a problem in the house and I get ready to discipline them kids, you're like, hey, it's a package deal, right? Treat these kids like yours. If I can treat them like mine, I can beat them like mine, right? I mean, that's where it stopped. And then now we got a problem.
If I can treat them like mine, I can beat them like mine.
And I don't mean like an aggressive beating. I use that. I use that as a phrase because everybody picks up on that shit. You follow what I'm saying?
I hope you trademark that one because I'm using that one.
Feel free, man. These words is for the public, bro. I'm just saying though, right? That's what I see a lot of. Like, oh, if you date me, you got to date my kid. You got to treat them like your own. That's cool, but it stops at a certain point when they start acting the fuck up,
right?
Right, and if you have a young man, listen. My son is now 28, so again, I'm old. My son probably older than you, but you know what I'm saying. My son is 28. At a certain age, he tried me. Like I tried my dad, and like my brother tried my dad. If your stepson try you, probably gonna treat him a little different than if your real son try you. But now you beefing with his mama, you know what I'm saying, or worse. You do everything. You come into a chick's life, and kids are young. You do all the stepdad shit. You do everything right. Pops is a deadbeat. Well, bro show up when they 16. Like a young man, we still want to deal with our pop.
Right.
So we're going to open our arms to him and like, bro, you did all this shit. And now, Pookie, Ray, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Slide through and you can't be mad at that. But I need my money back or whatever fuck I put in. Yeah. I just don't want to put myself in that situation.
It's a fucking raw deal. Like it is not a good look. Now, this is coming from the perspective of a man that don't have kids. Now, if you do have kids, y'all get together and play the Brady Bunch, cheaper by the dozen, whatever the fuck case is, because she has to make some sacrifices and shit like that to be a mother of stepkids. But as a person that doesn't, and I get and the older I get, the less likely. And that's why I have a new motto. I don't seriously date women over 30. Right. And that's for a plethora of reasons. But one of the main reasons is it's just less likelihood for you to have offspring. Once you hit 33, 34, you probably, number one, been in a long-term relationship that didn't work out. That's the reason why your ass is still single at 36. And then number two, you got a little nigga in junior high school that it's just an awkward situation.
Ready to act up.
You getting in, I'm hopping in, trying to get in where I fit in, and that's just too fucking complicated. And that's just something where in our community, especially when you're trying to date black women, unfortunately, an overwhelming majority over the age of 25 have one, and damn near all of them over the age of 30 have one, whatever the case is, sometimes 2, 3. And now you're trying to deal with stepfathers coming in, coming out, you know, and it's just weird. Like, I just rather not, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, men are entitled to preference.
I honestly think it just is how, like, the kids are, man. Because you can't say all women with, or like a majority of women with kids is a no-go, you know what I'm saying? But if you got some badass kids, or you can't,
I mean, all snakes ain't poisonous, but I'm not finna put my hand in a basket.
You got that kid where you be like, okay, it's time to go to bed, and they like, I need to tie my shoe, and they ain't got no shoes on. Like, yeah, that's that situation. Like, come on, now. But
yeah,
that's coming because I got 3 daughters. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you got to deal with men too, because they got to grow up,
right? So, I mean, I'm not opposed to dating single mothers, you know what I'm
saying?
You
can be. Let's be real, right? You gotta be fair, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be fair. If you got kids, you can't say, "Nah, I don't date chicks with kids." Right. Although I got a homie who's like, "Man, I ain't dating no chicks with kids." I'm like, "Bro, you got custody of your own. It's hard to, you know, you out here, you know." Now I do. Listen, I got a homie. It's crazy as hell. Right? I got a homie got 6 kids, about 6 chicks, and he takes great care of his kids. He is an exception to the rule, right? Like his baby mamas will all hang out and they all kick it, and I'm like, bro. God sprinkled cool powder on you because I don't know how the fuck to make that work.
Nick Cannon in this bitch.
All in this damn near. I think all of them live in the same town. They all live here, right? I done met a few of them. They all cool. Shit, matter of fact, we done kicked it with a couple of them. Me, him, you know, at the parties we have over here. So, but he's an exception, right? You know what I'm saying? So he can't ask a chick not to have kids, right? We got to be reasonable in our expectations. And again, I put more responsibility on us, right? Like I tell my guy all the time, I'm like, man, the leaders, if we have a community that's failing, we got to blame leaders. You know, I hear all the time, oh man, you don't know what it's like to date a black woman. I don't, right? But I know it's like to date a woman. Okay, so let me take that back. What is it like dating black women in 2023? Because, you know, I'm here. Tell me, I don't know what's going on.
Keep it a buck with you. If you just now dating black women in 2023, it's the same as dating white women in 2023 because they all act alike.
That's what I say. That's what I was saying, but my guy's like, "Oh, you don't know what it's like." I'm like, "Bro, I don't know."
Depending on where you find them at, if you in the
there you go, right there. So my guy, take the Jordans off, put on some square toes.
Right,
it'll change your life.
Right,
it's different because so the thing is, and a lot of people blame a lot of different reasons for this, but a lot of black women, the more successful they get. The more, and this is a person, I work in corporate. I've worked in corporate for the past 12 years or so. So I only deal with the bougiest of the bougie, right? And sometimes the more successful they get, the more, I don't want to say masculine in the perspective of, you know, you want to provide for yourself. But when I go to your crib and my house is cleaner than yours and you don't got fucking toilet paper, like these are things where it's like my mom was born in the 50s, right? My mom should have been a housewife. Like she should have been. It's a shame that she had to go to work because her house is laid out. It smelled good. It was always had nice old decorations. She was one of them old black women that had the goddamn table set with the fucking the chinaware like it's Thanksgiving dinner in the middle of July. Like my mom is old school black woman.
Right.
This is what I grew up with. You walk into the bathroom, a bunch of fucking towels that you don't even use type shit, right?
Oh, you better not touch them. You better not.
this is my environment. So when I go to a home, and I go to a home and you don't got no goddamn floor mats and you can't make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but you make just as much money as me, my dick ain't gonna get hard. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen because I feel like I'm dating a dude at this point, right? Like I feel like I'm at the bachelor pad.
Right, it's a bachelor pad.
Like, how's my house more laid out than your crib? You know what I mean? Like these are things where
no doubt.
Like, and you think that you're a better option and you're more viable to black men because you're in these spaces and you have a nice salary, but these are just things that I don't value because I make enough money, right? Like I make a lot of money, right? So it's just something where it's like
you need the things you can do.
Yeah, right? I mean, compliment me, right? Compliment me. Like I don't like to cook. Like, I'll be the first person. I can do it because it's a basic life skill, but it's something I don't like to do. So my compliment would be somebody that likes to throw down. Like, you know what I mean? Like the one ex that I had that I'd say is outside of my, I ain't trying to get in trouble.
This might end up on the internet. So before you go too far, I don't want you to put your foot in your mouth.
Outside of my current boo, my favorite ex.
There you go.
Actually, and this is I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite, but She was probably, and I know women get triggered when I say this shit, so I apologize to my ladies, but she was the most domesticated woman I ever met, right? Like, her house, I mean, she just cooked. Like, she cooked 2-3 times a day, which to a married man of 30-something years, or whatever the case y'all been, don't seem like that big of a deal. But find a woman in 2023 that cooked 2 to 3 times a fucking day, that shit is a gem. That's a goddamn unicorn. So, bro, like...
that's normal shit to me, but okay.
Phil, when's the last time you met a chick that cooked 3 times a day?
She worked 3 shifts at IHOP.
5 years. I ain't met one that really cooked 3 times a day, 2 times a day. I know what they usually cook a home cooked meal every day though.
Yeah, man.
So be 35, man. So they kind of, you know, and then you gotta think too, man. We in the day and age where everybody want to be woke and got their third eye open and shit. They been in this room, so they think they know what they talking about.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you know, and you know, people trying to do that whole healthy eating and cooking stuff. So you may find
I need to do some healthy eating and cooking my damn self. I'm all for it, right? It's just I don't know, bro. I listen to y'all, not y'all, but I'm men today. I'm like, I don't know. I can't. It don't make sense to me, right? It don't make sense to me. I'm blessed, I guess, because and don't get me wrong. I take care of my wife. I do all the manly shit. Again, we have gender roles, and not like, hey, you have to do this. It's not that, right? I do this. She does that. Now, sometimes, you know, I'll go down and I ain't gonna lie. If I see her take the trash out, I'm gonna get mad at her. Cuss her out like, hey, what are you doing? That's, you know, don't do that. You don't gotta do that. But, you know, I'll go down. I'll look. You know, I'll clean the kitchen, or I don't do good. You know, she can always come behind me and do it right. But you know, I put my little effort in. But I do. You know, I you know, oh my God, oh man, you don't know what it's like to be out here today. I don't. Right? I don't know what it's like to be out here today. But it's just crazy to me. I don't know, because you know, the dudes have different concept, right? Again, I'm married a long time. If my girl say, hey, you know, I want to take a trip, I'm gonna pay for her and her friends to go. But my guy's like, oh, your girls can't go on girls trips. That's the worst shit ever. I'm like, bro, listen, I had a party here one day, and I pray to God they don't see this shit. I had a party here one day, and it was wild. I had a bunch of people here. We was kicking it, and you know, a couple cats rolled together, two cats and dude's girl. One dude passed out, you know, his girl up, you know, everybody's still drinking. I'm starting to clean up. I go in my basement. Like I say, dude she came with passed out. Dude that she rolled with, right, because they all came together, 2 dudes and 1 chick, she down in the basement just topping him off. I'm like, oh, shit. Right? I'm like, oh, shit. I don't need no furniture moving around my shit, so I'm going to go pretend I ain't see shit. I woke up the next morning, right, they cuddled up again. Her and I'm like, oh, shit. But the point of that story is you don't got to go far for your girl to cheat. All he did was went to sleep. Right. You know what I'm saying? So the concept, you know, he went to sleep too early. The concept of a girl cheating because she go, you know what I'm saying, out of town or out of the country or whatever is weird to me, because I've literally seen chicks cheat while they supposed to go to the grocery store.
People who think like that is unreal, because females cheat with people in the same city. So
right, that's what I try to explain to them.
Ray Ray and Pookie stay 2 blocks over.
Man, they ain't got no passport.
Right.
Man, no, I don't describe that either. I think that shit is goofy. Like, trying to put limitations on people like they're toddlers and children, thinking that it's going to stop them from doing something that they want to do.
Not at all.
Childless, right? Like, when you're a child and you got something that, like, and you don't want a child to do something, you put it on the top cabinet, because then they physically won't do it. Like, you physically have to remove them from doing something. But when you got somebody that's 36 years old, you're not going to be able to put enough barriers up, such as saying,
no, I mean, you shouldn't want to.
You got to think,
like,
man,
right?
How many times somebody put something on the top shelf and you ain't clapped the counter?
You know what I'm saying? You got it. If you want it, you're going to get it.
If you want,
so in my preparation for trying to understand podcasts and shit, I started watching Fresh and Fit, and I'm gonna be honest, fuck Fresh and Fit, because I look at the light skinned cat Myron, I think, or I don't know who's who, but bro's like, my girl can't do shit, and if she go on a girl trip, we done, blah blah blah, and I'm like, bro, what happened? Right? What happened to you that you're so, to me, insecure that your girl can't leave? Right. Because let's be real, bro. If you met a bad chick and she was like, look, Jay, you got 96 seconds to tear this shit up. Bro, you going to work with them 96 seconds. You going to start and finish.
96 seconds.
You going to start and finish. You don't got to go far. Right? That's what I'm saying. Men are going to work within the time allotted. So I'm like, she don't got to go have a girls' night out. Dudes are like, oh, my girl can't go on a girls' night out. I'm like, why do you want to be up under somebody that long all the fucking time? Like that's kind of weird to me too.
Crazy.
That shit is weird. I agree. Like that's something I'm not a big fan of that. Matter of fact, go ahead and do what you're gonna do because I want to see what you would do if you know what I mean. Like I want to see what you would do, and it don't really matter to me. Like me, I'm in a position where I know the older I get in the position I am starting to become more of an anomaly when it comes to like a prospect. So please don't give me a reason to be out here in these streets again. You know what I mean? I live in fucking Atlanta.
Right, I'm with you.
I don't know if you've been to Atlanta recently.
I lived there for some years, and my brother lived there, and I go down there all the time.
Like don't give me no incentive to be out here in these goddamn streets because before the sheets get cold, I have your ass replaced. Like that's just my mindset behind it. So I don't care. Do what you want to do. I'm gonna treat you right. Don't get me wrong, et cetera, et cetera. But just putting them type of like I don't have those types of insecurities when it comes to things. Like do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like that's not my style.
I don't understand wanting to control somebody. Like, and I've always explained to my guys, I'm like, listen, if a woman is with you because she cannot survive without you, you never know how she really feels. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't control somebody. Like give her freedom because if she gonna do what she gonna do.
Yep.
Right? Just like you gonna do what you gonna do. Right? But it's a different world today. Right? And I go back to people get mad at me. I swear to God, I think men today are weak as fuck. Compared to the men when I grew up. Now, you can blame my generation, right? Maybe there's too many chemicals in the sperm. I don't fucking know, right? It's just a different deal, right? We had big homies that if we didn't have a dad or an older brother, it was the cats in the neighborhood that would help us, understand. Hey, listen, man, that girl, she don't like you, bro. She just fucking with you, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't go to the ATM twice, right? You've already been over there once, right? I mean, these dudes are different. When I was growing up, there wasn't nothing such as the friend zone, and I don't believe in the friend zone today. You like a chick, she don't like you, bro. That's not the friend zone. She don't fuck with you like that. Just move on. Right? It's just, I don't know. It's different.
And I had a thought that slipped my mind. No, it definitely is different, and I think it is something where, so you have a bunch of weirdos, right? Where these dudes can't take their job, super duper overprotective, insecure, whatever the case is. And then that leaves 10 dudes in a city, 10 dudes in a neighborhood that actually are made of the stuff that used to be made of. And you got all these women that want them.
Absolutely.
They don't want to compete. They refuse to compete. You mentioned the word compete to a black woman. Are you fucking crazy? It's not happening. And I explain this to my coworker all the time where
it's like, to compete.
They refuse. It's not happening. It's not happening. One of my coworkers.
But they competing anyway.
I said this shit on Facebook a couple weeks ago.
Go ahead. Finish your statement. I'm sorry. Finish your statement. My bad. I jumped in.
I swear I said this shit a couple of weeks ago. In life, because there are limited resources and there are limited things and there's a lot of us, by definition, you're in competition with someone else. I know we like to say, oh, my only competition is myself, et cetera, et cetera. No, there are a limited amount of houses. There are a limited amount of food. There's a thing called scarcity.
Jobs.
So realize it or not, you're in a fucking competition with somebody. I'm sorry to be the person to break it to you. You may not be actively participating, which probably means that you're losing, but you're in competition. So as a woman, and I talk to my coworker about this shit all the time, y'all want Will Smith, not the character, not the real life dude that's dating Jada. Y'all want Will Smith and Wayman Tisdale from Strictly Business, rolled into one. You want a dude that has a career, has a job, but he's also suave, smooth, and charismatic. You think that you're the only person that wants this individual. Everybody in this goddamn building, now we're talking a very large organization, wants this individual. So by definition, if you're going to be monogamous, now y'all want to share the nigga. Y'all don't share and y'all won't compete. What the fuck are we talking about here? How are you ever going to accomplish what you want to accomplish when it comes to long-term relationships?
That's where reality has to set, right? We are all in competition, even when we're in a relationship, right? I tell my guys, listen, I compete for my woman every day. Not that it's some other cat trying to knock the door down, but I know goddamn well I'm going to do what I need to do every fucking day because that's my responsibility. I'm not going to just drop the ball. It's like a job, right? You get the job, you don't quit doing the fucking work because you got the job. Right. And I think I agree with you. I think a lot of women don't understand that it's a competition and the resources are unbalanced. Right. Because you have more women than you have men. Yep. Right. And then you take gay dudes out the picture. Right. Because obviously they're not dating women. You got the cats that's in the joint. And unfortunately for our community, that's more than it needs to be. Mm-hmm. You got the married cats. So when it gets down to the single dudes, it's insane. Now, Atlanta's even worse because I lived in Atlanta from like 2000. It was like 2004, 2006, something in that time range. And again, I've been my white wife forever, right? We do everything together. We went to Magic City, right? I'm gonna put it out there. We went to Magic City, and I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit uncomfortable. I'm like, I got a white girl in an all black town at the black strip club, and it must have showed on my face because the chick was like, "Listen, don't even trip. I know you look uncomfortable," which I was, because I was like, damn, I thought I was gonna have to catch some flack. She's like, listen, as long as you dating a woman, we don't give a fuck. I'm like, oh, is it like that down here, right? She's like, as long as you dating a chick, we don't give a fuck. Because it's a lot of dudes down there that's dating dudes. And listen, I don't knock nobody, and I don't want to disrespect nobody's sexuality. I'm just saying the women are so, it's like in certain places, the men are so scarce, or the women outnumber them so much. It's a different story. Everywhere I went in Atlanta, I'm like, damn,
Atlanta right? different though.
And
Atlanta's different.
As a man, we're used to just by nature being, because if we go into a motherfucking nightclub, right, and it's 30 dudes and it's 2 women, we are already subconsciously, sometimes not even subconsciously, looking at each other like it's 2 women. Either we gonna leave the nightclub completely, or we're gonna have to do something to get these women attention, because we know that we outnumber them. And this is not even taking into account education, height, any of that other shit. We just
your numbers,
and it's like this shit is on. I'm not literally. Sometimes these goofballs mean literally, but figuratively speaking, I'm gonna have to move you out of the way to get to this lady. And the ladies, they confused. They'd rather grow old and just be just single. Like, it's just, I'd rather just not do it. And it's like, well, that's just going to be your outcome. And I know, that's just the outcome for a lot of us. And I ain't tripping because I live in Atlanta and I'm a straight male with a job.
Bro, like I said, you have no kids. You know what I'm saying? You winning. I've told you need to be for sale. Like, ain't no fucking way I'll be giving myself away out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. I don't know, man. It's a different world. People are different. Women and men have changed over the years that I've been in. I hear women, men don't do chivalrous shit. I'm old school, bro. So I'm still opening the door. My neighbors get mad at me because shit, I walk out the fucking house and I open the door for my wife to get in the car in the fucking driveway. I never call my neighbor, hey man, you making me look bad. I said, no, bro, you making you look bad. Right? Yeah. I didn't change shit. But I don't think a lot of men today grew up on that shit. And again, I'm talking the younger generation, the 35 and under crew. It's just, to me, it's a different breed. And we got to figure out.
Opening the door like that wasn't really taught to my age group. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you must.
Right. Like. So we fucked up somewhere. That was normal shit.
You said like that because out of all my homeboys, I'm the only one that like knowingly don't allow my woman to walk on the street side. You know what I'm saying?
Street side.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't.
That's a unrespected thing, because I'm gonna keep it real. And I tell my wife this all the time.
Like, you won't let me walk next to the street.
Right, they dig it. Right, but let's be real. I love you, and that's why I'm standing over here trying to get hit by this fucking car. Because getting hit by a car probably don't feel good. So let's not make a mistake. Like, I want to do this shit just because I want to feel what a bumper feel like on my motherfucking kidney. Right, I'm doing this shit because if a car jumped this curb, I'm gonna push your ass down.
It's gonna hit me.
So honestly, you could date another motherfucker because I'm gonna be dead. Right. So it's crazy, but we when I say I don't ask for a lot. I want appreciation and respect. That's all. Obviously, I want love. I got a wife,
and to eat,
but we don't ask for all the extra shit.
We don't, man, and it is interesting that y'all bring that up, because it's the truth. Like, I can't tell you how many women have been just shocked because, like I said, like Philip said, I walk street side. I'll sleep towards the side of the bed that's closest to the door, or I pull chairs out at restaurants and things like that. Can't tell you how many women have felt that shit. They'll literally walk in the restaurant, see me pull out the chair and sit in the other chair, and what I do is I kind of shake the chair a little bit, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, no one's ever done it." The standard and the bar has been set so low. Blame Generation X, blame the baby boomers. I don't know what happened, but there's just a disconnect to where it's like, yes, as men, we should be leaders. A lot of us are dropping the ball when it comes to that type of thing. But, I mean, it's whoever, like I said, whoever gave some pussy to the first dude that wasn't doing any of that shit. Like, I just look at, like even 90s R&B where niggas was dancing in the desert and leather and all sorts of crying and 4 dudes singing and 3 dudes ain't even hitting, but they all supporting their homeboy trying to get a woman.
Absolutely.
Had to have game, had to have hair, waves, all sorts of types of shit.
Man, it was a lot of work.
Whoever went for the first food that wasn't doing none of that shit, I blame her. They need to find her and jump her. Like that
man.
It's just super hell. I've had so many women where it's like, oh, I feel a connection, and I'm really woman. It's been a day and we had a conversation that wasn't around sex. Like this.
No, you know what it is, right? You different. The connection is I need him before somebody else scooping, because that competition is real. Like, again, I'm old school R&B. Keep Sweat, even through the newer shit. R. Kelly did some dumb shit, but his music's still fire, right?
Can't deny that.
We went from bumping slow jams to listening to cats like, hey man, these chicks coming over, we putting on Tooted and Booted. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like that's y'all finna get some pussy music?
Yes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Hey man, that new Drake drop, these hoes coming through. I'm like, bro, you know, I realized I was never really a club dude. Mm-hmm. But when I was younger, it was, hey, DJ put on a love song, right? I'm trying to get up on this chick. I want to get close to my girl, right? I want to, you know what I'm saying? Anymore. Not at all. I remember when I realized life was over for the world, I went to a club and it was like 6 dudes in a circle dancing and all the girls was kind of blocked out the circle. I'm like, bro, and they wasn't slow dancing. It was like just competition type shit. I'm like, y'all don't want to be next to those soft ankles? Like, well, it's all hard ankles in this group. You know what I'm saying? Shit's different. And my mind don't work that way.
No,
right? Like don't work that way.
And it's sad because it's like I don't ever like even looking at the younger generation. Now you have Generation Z, and I think they call the next one the Alpha Generation or some shit like that. It's not turning back towards the other direction. Like Philip said, they don't play slow jams in the club anymore. Like, you know, the love and the romanticism that comes with relationships and things like that shit's gone. That shit.
Who's the new R&B artist? I don't know. Damn. Right? It's a song I heard, and I hated it when I heard it. I hated it because to me it was trash. Heartbreak Anniversary or something like that, right? I think Gideon or something like that's dude's name.
Yeah.
I love it though. That's my shit now because I heard it a lot. But that's like the only. I don't know what I'm missing, right? Like what happened? You know, where's the rest of the slow jams at?
Pretty decent.
Then I need to listen to the whole thing, right? But I'm like, man, there's no slow music, bro. And you don't get me wrong. Sometimes I ride. I listen to whatever. I might throw on some drill music. I don't care what it is. Lil Durk. But I'm like, man, I'm ready to shoot somebody too. You know what I'm saying? Like what? It's what? Man, it's crazy because we just I don't know. Society changed, and I think technology played a huge part because again, as a man, I had to get on. Y'all, I mean, bro, we got on the bus. We went to the mall every Saturday.
Pen and paper.
Right. And we try to get a number. And guaranteed the majority of the chicks was going to say no. Guarantee you knew when you, it's lit. It's a no if you don't ask. That's what we tell them. No matter what, if you don't say nothing, it's a no.
You gonna miss
right? So go shoot your shot. Miss every shot you don't shoot.
Now you sit behind a goddamn screen and you start sending a bunch of DMs, and whoever the fuck go, whoever the fuck gonna go. And it is what it is. So it's like, that shit's
That's
dead.
The other crazy part, right? Who got some pussy with a dick pic? Girls be complaining about, dudes and a dick pic. Well, it works somewhere. Because we do whatever the fuck works. It works somewhere.
I don't understand that shit, bro. Like, I've seen, like, this, so I started having more empathy for women back about 5, 6, 7 years ago, where some of my close lady friends, I'm just sitting around chilling. I said, well, let me see your DM. Like, y'all really say that this shit is super duper bad?
Shit's real.
So what is DM? You will feel disgusted for humanity.
Absolutely.
That shit was, I mean, you just see dick pic after message after, hey, bitch, what up? After dick pic.
Right.
And
look, it's good morning, beautiful. How you doing? Well, fuck you then, bitch. Like, bro, you only 3 messages deep.
It's a different monster.
And all in the same 37 minutes.
And this dude I'm sitting there, me and my homeboys, you know, we just went to grab a couple drinks and shit. And the girl walk up, she at the bar copping a drink. A dude walk up to her, look at us, look at her, and he like, I eat your ass. Bro, no, I'm not joking.
That was his line?
I'm not joking, right?
It worked somewhere.
Like, had to.
He say, fuck you then, right? Walk off. I asked her, I said, did you know him? She's like, I didn't know who the hell that was. I said, you gotta be joking.
Bro, I would call you a liar if I didn't witness some serious similar shit. I was at the bar with one of my homies.
Went for that shit.
Like, it worked. I was with one of my guys. Right, I was with one of my guys at a bar, and he is far from, you know what I'm saying, far from top tier. This girl walked by, he looked, he said, damn, you make my tongue hard. I just walked off on him. I'm like, bro, you can't, first off, the shit was funny. I ain't gonna lie, I turned around and laughed. I'm like, damn. I'm like, he said, you make my tongue hard. I'm like, bro, that shit didn't work. Like, that's what you came with? You got a pocket full of words, and those are what you chose.
He said she was far from top tier. Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy.
Wow.
But that shit had to work at least once.
Like you said, it had to work because dudes just still be using that shit.
You gotta think, man. We're creatures of habit. That shit worked one time.
Absolutely.
It might have worked twice.
Might not have worked for him, but it worked for somebody.
It worked for somebody.
It had to do something.
So here's what I realized. Right? I had to Google the term incel. I don't know if either one of y'all heard of the incel, right? Yeah. I didn't know what it was, so I looked it up. Involuntarily celibate. Mm-hmm. I'm like, bro, I didn't grow up with none of them. Right? When I grew up, there was none of them. They didn't exist.
They exist. How did
y'all fuck up?
They exist.
Right? They
listen.
I didn't see them.
I think so. Involuntary okay, so maybe they didn't. Okay, so maybe they didn't.
They didn't exist. They didn't exist, bro. They didn't exist when I was growing up.
Incels started to morph. I think they start to really come out and like be proud of being fucking weirdos after like Columbine. Because everybody was afraid that, okay, if we don't pay these fucking weirdos some attention, they may come back and kill us, right?
True that.
So then they started to get a platform, and then YouTube popped to where, like, everyone has their tribe because the internet exists. That's another thing that technology happened, where it's it used to be you motherfuckers just go into the corner and cry, and then eventually y'all do some wild shit to yourself, and then that's it. You self-delete or something. But now
but nobody else got hurt.
Page, and I can get 7,000 subscribers for being a fucking weirdo. So now let me get on here and get angry at women because they won't give me no pussy because I'm socially awkward, and now I have me a backing that supports it, and it just kind of morphs. And
it is crazy.
It's a weird thing, man. It is a weird thing. Like, just being strange and socially awkward, now you have a backing and you blame other people for it. Your inability to communicate with mankind. Like, that's some weird shit. Like, I don't fuck with it. But, you know, and I think that all gets mixed in, you know, when you're talking about, you know, manosphere, red pill, these weirdos over here that are incels and individuals.
Hold on, because I'm not up on all the terms, right? I recently heard the manosphere and I'm like, the fuck is that? Because that sounds weird. Sounds like ain't no girls in it, and that's not where I want to be. So, what is the manosphere? Right. So you with me, right? What's the manosphere? What that sound really?
Whoever made that, we need to find them and jump their ass too.
Nobody started that bullshit.
So I think the manosphere was birthed as a counter to feminism, right?
But what is it? Let's start with that one because.
It's a collection of men and some women, you know, where you have literature, videos, things like that really support male growth, hierarchy amongst males, patriarchy, things of that nature. And
the shit their daddy was supposed to teach them.
Shit that your daddy was supposed to teach you. That was a counter to, you know, I am woman, hear me, war, women rule the world, et cetera, et cetera. Now, within that, you'll have, you know, certain people like Fresh and Flick, they claim to be a part of the manosphere. Kevin Samuels was sometimes referred to as the king of the manosphere. Whatever.
I didn't like that dude. I'm going to keep it real.
I love Kevin Samuels. That was...
I didn't. Here's why.
Okay.
I think a lot of what he said was good, but Kevin, here's how I envision Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels is like the Gucci store owner going to Walmart talking about his sale. He had good information, but his audience was the wrong group. The people listening to him wasn't for him.
And that's the thing. And that's where I'm saying, where it's like within that manosphere, you have these incels, a bunch of fucking weirdos who he's not even talking to. And the thing is, if you watch Kevin Samuels' shows where he was actually talking to the men, you would have incels call in and they'd be like, I've never kissed a girl before. Women suck. And he'd be like, dude, you're fucking weird. Like, get off. I'm talking like you're not my intended audience. And for me, I can sit here and preach, you know, finances and growth and healthcare and things of that nature. And a crackhead can take it and run from it. That ain't my goddamn fault. You know what I mean? Like, that's
true story.
You know what I mean? So, I think the manosphere has a bunch of people that have attached themselves to it that really ain't what the message is about. You got a lot more shit to worry about than women if you ain't got an 8th grade graduation and you 46 years old trying to work.
All right. So I got to. So what's a red pill, right? Because you know what's red and what's the other colors? If you got a red pill, you got to have some other colors, right? They just don't. Otherwise, why is it not just a pill?
Red pill. Red pill, blue pill comes from the Matrix, right? If you remember at the beginning of the Matrix, they had the option of taking the red pill and the blue pill. Blue pill, your life is going to be great. You're going to believe everything that you've been told, et cetera, et cetera. You could take the blue pill and go about your way, or you could take this red pill and you can get a little bit of realism and how life really fucking sucks, how it's unfair, how sometimes people are just born in shitty situations and never able to get out, et cetera, right? Well, the red pill, flash forward 20 years, the red pill community is essentially saying, we're not going to listen to everything that we've been told in the media about how things work and et cetera, et cetera. We're going to believe something else where we're kind of just understanding everything that we're being told has an agenda to it, right?
Just conspiracy theorists?
Pretty much.
It sounds like to me, bro. I'm sitting there thinking, you just don't believe this motherfucker so you can believe this motherfucker.
I always want to be included in something, man.
So, again, here's where I go back to, and me and one of my guys, we go round and round every fucking day, bro. Like, we go round and round every day because I'm like, I don't know. None of that shit makes sense to me. Right? I wake up, and if you don't like me, I don't give a fuck. Right? You not liking me is not going to affect my life. Right? He's like, oh, man, you an anomaly. You an anomaly. Most men ain't like you. I said, bro, listen, I have a GED. I quit school at 17. My girl was pregnant at 18. We had a baby when I was 18. Right? This shit, I was normal. I was a regular dude. I never did shit to become an anomaly. Right? I'm like, y'all just fucking quitters. You're like trying hard. Right? He's like, oh man, you've done this. You're an exception to the rule. I'm like, bro, where I grew up, I was a fucking rule. Right? And most people quit school. We still turned out to be some shit. And those of us that didn't went on to be some great shit. Doctors and lawyers and shit. It's just weird to me. I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's just I'm different.
Got that drive, man. That's all it is.
I grew up with dudes helping me be a better dude. By the time I was 18, I understood. Right? I just think something's missing. Right? Because you can always improve. Right? You can always improve. But if
would you say, so you said you dropped out, you had your GED, you had your first kid at 18, you still grew up to be something, a successful person, business owner, et cetera, right? I think what people, and let me know if you disagree, I think what people are saying is, I know a bunch of motherfuckers that dropped out at 17 too. And here we are 15, 16, 17 years later, they ain't doing shit. Like,
but
they're not even
close. They dropped out.
But the guys complaining didn't drop out. But the dudes that's complaining didn't drop out. I'm like, y'all finished the shit I didn't finish. Right? These dudes, bro, I worked at the fucking arcade in my first job for $4.05 an hour with a fucking kid. Right? You don't get set. You know why I made $4.05 an hour? Because the government said the motherfucker couldn't pay me less. If they would have paid me less, right? If the government didn't say you could pay me less, they would have paid me less. Right? I'm not special. I'm a firm believer that if you can do it, I can do it too. That doesn't make me different. That just means I'm not a quitter. My dad sat me down a long time ago. He said, son, listen, you're going to have to try twice as hard to get half as far as the average white man. Mm-hmm. Now, you can take that one of two ways. You can be mad about it your whole life, or you can be mad about it your whole life and do something. But the situation isn't going to change. It's going to be on you to make whatever you want to be out of yourself. He said, but when you come across somebody who's fair, you're going to have an advantage because you try harder and you can't turn it off. And so for me, that was my guiding light. Right, because I knew shit was hard. Obviously, I knew at a young age shit was hard. But I don't know. Motherfuckers today got everything I didn't have. If I would have had the internet as a young teen, bro, I'd be a fucking billionaire right now.
Shit.
Right? If I could date a woman from the other side, I didn't know bitches from the other side of town.
Yep.
Unless I went to the football game, right? Mm-hmm. Or you know what I'm saying? I caught them at the mall. It's crazy. Dudes today have access to multiple. I'm gonna go back. It's insecurity. So I was having a discussion with my guy today, and he's like, "Man, women don't understand how important sex is to men. You know, Kobe Bryant's wife's beautiful. He cheated on her with this little chubby white girl. Blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Absolutely," because it has nothing to do with physical attractiveness and everything to do with opportunity, right? But he said, "Man, every dude that he said something along the lines of." You know, she's gonna want a millionaire and an NBA player. I said, no, bro, she's not. She knew Kobe was a lucky strike. That's why she tried to make the most out of it. I said, the difference is, because he said something about, man, every dude that ever tries to fuck with her is gonna compare herself to Kobe. I said, bro, R.I.P. to Kobe. He's gone. If you comparing yourself to somebody, you know, in the past, that's on you. You can't be mad at her. She knows she's not dating another NBA. Ain't another NBA player on earth gonna touch that hoe. Right? It's probably for the legal reasons, right? Because she put him through the ringer. And I don't know the situation. I don't want to make it sound like I don't know what he did, right? I never talked to the cat. But what I was saying is, I'm like, bro, Kobe is in these dudes' heads, right? That's y'all insecurity. Like, I'm not. Okay, let's talk body count, right? Because you're a single man, right? You're a single man. Let's talk body count. What's an acceptable, me either, right? I feel you. But what's an acceptable body count? Because my guy was like, man, if she got a body count higher than 5, I said, if she got a body count higher than 5, she's probably normal. If you got a body count lower than 5, you should probably pull off from that school.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Because you're doing too much.
The body count discussion is like the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like,
swear to God.
How many stars are in the sky? Bitch, you'll never be able to verify this. Why are you having, like, this is something that you can't verify. Like, unless you was in the room and you still, motherfucker tell you 1,000, a person can tell you 1. How are you supposed to know the difference? Like, I don't.
You won't.
Multiply by 3.
I don't. It's so my guy sent me it's a psychiatrist, and I can't remember his name. It's a white dude. He's like, man, listen to this dude. He on point. Dude says, if I'm not the best a woman's had, I don't want her. I'm like, bro, where I come from, that's insecurity, because you could be number 2 and be the worst she ever had. I mean, shit, that's just like, is that where your mind is? Like, what? That shit don't get to me. When dudes are tripping on a chick's body count, it's because they lack it in the room.
What fabulous
right? I'm trying to blow you back out.
Slide up in this, she growl. Hey.
right. Again, I'm old school. I'm different, right? It's a different breed. But these dudes today are like, oh man, I'm not dating a chick that's got a body count under 10 or over 10 or over 5. I'm like, bro, you are in your 30s. I said, you could, right? You don't know. She can tell you 6. Right? Oh, women lie all the time. I would lie too, bro. If you came up to me and asked me some shit I know you're gonna fuck with me about, and I was a soft, feminine woman, I'm probably gonna lie too, because I don't want to be fucked with, especially by a motherfucker who ain't offering me shit. You just asked me to pick them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's stupid, but that is a major thing for the fresh and fit cats, bro. They talk about that shit.
They talk about
body count,
and maybe it made
more
sense. Like I said before, pre-internet, when you don't. I live in Atlanta. I'm from Minnesota, right? Motherfuckers don't know me down here. Like maybe when you live in the same town, it's like the likelihood I'm gonna bump into a bunch of niggas that enslaved my woman. Maybe it mattered back then. Right. But if I pick my shit up from Atlanta and I move to Florida, or I move to fucking Boise, Idaho tomorrow, and then I slide into town and I show up to a bar, I'm not gonna be sitting there having body count questions because I don't know these motherfuckers. No, right? Like that's just some shit. Like I don't understand.
I'm okay. I would rather have a chick that had 1,000 bodies than 7 bums, because you got poor pussy management, right? You let the wrong people touch you. But it's just, I mean, it is crazy. Like the body count thing, it drives me crazy. I listen to these cats and I be trying to listen to Fresh and Fit because I'm like, I'm trying to get these motherfuckers another chance.
Not them.
Bro, they constantly own that shit. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just confusing to me, right? Because what is, okay, listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I've been with my girl since I was 15. She had just turned 16. I'm not, you know how much shit I went through to be able to get my dick sucked with the lights on? I'm not trying to start that shit over at 35, 44. Owie, oochie, oh, that's nasty. Don't put your tongue back. You know what I'm saying? Fuck. Why would any motherfucker want to start that shit as an adult? Right? Like, ooh, you don't supposed to do that. Like, what the fuck? Butt stuff is nasty. Whatever her shit is, right? Like, why would you want to, as a grown-ass man, get a motherfucker who's so inexperienced that all this shit is, that shit is weird to me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
that shit is strange. Like as long as the person is clean, right? Like you got some decent results, and I know I ain't gonna have to worry about getting burned or any of that shit, or trying to make sure you ain't fuck my family members or some shit like that.
Respect, right?
Like I don't. That's just some weird shit, and that's why when you're talking about looking at the new, please don't look at Fresh and Fit. Like them two niggas is some weirdos. They definitely have a port. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the points they make, yes, they're accurate every now and then, but it's just the way that they come across. They could clearly tell you got burned. Like you got hit pretty bad. Somebody.
I was watching this shit, bro, and he said a woman's sexual pleasure doesn't fucking matter.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, in the grand scheme of having a child, I would say you're probably right. But if you have a woman that is sexually unhappy, you have a problem, bro. Let that woman go, because Amazon got toys and shit. What you gonna do when she get one? I heard that Rose a motherfucker.
Not even Amazon.
Right?
Pookie and Ray Ray stay up the street.
Up the street. Walmart got sex toys. Spencer's, if you got one in the mall, bro, you gotta. But it's just weird to me, man. I don't know. I don't know, bro. Dudes. So I get motherfuckers get mad. Oh, you keep saying, man, you ain't put no blame on the women. I don't put as much blame on the women. Like, I got a cousin who's got a shit ton of kids by a shit ton of women. And my guy's like, man, your cousin's the average dude. I'm like, yeah, but He don't even know all his fucking kids. So how is she supposed to know all his kids? She don't know this motherfucker got a bunch of kids because he don't fuck with none of them, right? It's. I put blame on women making the choice of who you allow to have sex with you. Just like I make the choice of a man. A woman gets pregnant by a deadbeat. She makes a choice. I'm going to have this baby or I'm not. Or she makes a choice multiple times over 9 months to keep the baby. But this motherfucker chooses every day not to fuck with his kids. To me, that's a bigger fucking responsibility. You making a conscious choice every day not to fuck with your kids. So I put more blame on the men in that aspect. Plus, again, I'm probably going to catch hell. I'm old school. I believe we are leaders. Leaders lead, and men are the leaders of the family, right? If my family is fucked up, that's on me. If my company is fucked up, that's on me. If my town is fucked up, that's on the mayor. If my country is fucked up, that's on the president, right? Yes, the people played a part, but we blame the motherfucker who's supposed to be in control.
To counter that, I think on the opposite end of that, right? These types of motherfuckers should have died out in our community like 3 generations ago. We knew who ain't shit ass niggas was in the neighborhood, who was going around just fucking shit up, kept going to prison, breaking into grandma's house. You used to have rules like, oh, you don't do anything, it's a Sunday truce and all this other types of shit. And you just had one person that didn't give a fuck about none of that. Somebody gave that nigga some pussy. Somebody had his kids. Now you got a bunch of little ain't shit ass niggas running around.
Can I just jump in for a second real quick?
Yep.
We get mad at black women for loving these cats, but we love these motherfuckers too. Them is the homies we kick it with, right? When they come home from the joint, we throw parties. Like, we get mad at black women for loving the black men, right, that we love too. We don't sexually love the motherfuckers, but everybody want to be around the dope boy with the fat ride, you know what I'm saying? With the beat and all. We love that motherfucker too.
That's fair.
Right? We like, hey, y'all shouldn't fuck with him, but that's my homie. Right? Like, hey, a boy get out in 2 months. Like, and I'm not saying all us, because I'm old. I don't fuck. You been to the joint, I'll meet you at Buffalo Wild Wings, bro. I'm not fucking. But a lot of us, we love them motherfuckers. Right? I have been to more funerals than graduations. Right? And that's common amongst us. We'll go to a motherfucking funeral who got killed to be around all the motherfuckers. But John Smith graduated. Maybe he was a C student. I don't fucking know. We ain't go to his fucking party. Right? We didn't have graduation parties in the hood because nobody gave a fuck about them. So we get mad at these black women for dating black men that we love fucking too. Like, we love, not fucking, that sounded horrible. We love them too. Like, we love being around them. We accept our, I'm going to say it, we accept our worst of the community. We accept them. Sometimes we empower them. But and then we get mad, like, oh, I can't believe you was fucking with him. Like, I met him at your house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I talk about that, I do talk about that a lot amongst like my circles and, ladies and shit like that, where it's like, we celebrate the worst shit ever. Why are we having snitch conversations in the black community when we're talking about like criminals and shit like that and we're promoting it? Like, when I hang around these upper middle class and these middle class white people that I work with every day, they act like hillbilly hicks and them inbred motherfuckers don't exist. Like, they don't break them up. They don't talk to them. They don't talk about their culture, their code. And yet we're here promoting the worst of our fucking community amongst the men and women. The men is hanging around these motherfuckers and talking about who snitched on who, and you got to stay down with the streets and make sure that you keeping it real. And then the women giving them some pussy and having their goddamn kids. Black culture as a whole, we fucked. Like, it's bad on so many levels. It's so bad. I just be like, man, I'm kind of trying to get away from that shit, to be honest, because
to go what you said about the white folks in corporate America, you're talking to a white dude, he's like, yeah, man, my 3 sons are, I got a doctor, I got a lawyer, I got an accountant, blah, blah, blah. You have a whole time. I'm like, yeah, but you got 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? All the other motherfucker fuck up. I don't talk about him. Like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different, bro.
They for sure leave that 4 fucked up kid out of the conversation.
Man, leave that motherfucker. He's at home with his mom. You know how the fuck he is. Right. No story whatsoever. Nope. It's crazy. So I'm and again, I'm overly, I don't know, bro. I believe a woman will follow a man that she thinks can lead. I also believe women can see a weak motherfucker 1,000 miles away. Right. Women put up paper brick walls. They have no choice. If a woman gave every motherfucker some pussy that asked her for some, body count would matter. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they have to put up, man, swear to God, sneeze and everything fall out. Right?
Why,
you know what I'm saying?
And why, as a community, are we the only, it appears, that we are the only community that can't have sex without getting pregnant? right? Like, there's something to say about us where every time we fuck, it seems, we get knocked up. I done went through my fair share. I was hoeing a lot from 2010 to like 2019, 2020. And there was never even a such thing as a pregnancy scare. Like, this is just something where
poor planning. Poor planning. We don't talk about sex education.
That's crazy as hell to me. Where it's like, yeah, you can fuck 100 niggas and not have 100 kids. Like, it's a possibility.
Better to bust inside, man.
He's right.
You know what also don't feel
He's
fair?
right.
Motherfucking waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning because your infant is sick, or having somebody
True story.
video games after
True story.
make fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Just
true story.
Like that shit.
There's not too many men that. It's not too many men that before they decide to stick their thing in something, be like, am I about to unleash inside of her or on her because I don't want to deal with something?
We have a lack
down the line.
We have a lack of dick discipline, right? We have a lack of dick discipline, right? And I'm guilty of it myself. Like I said, I knocked my girl up when she was 17, or I was 17, she was 18. We had a baby when she was 18. But I realized very fast, our next child will have when I make at least $50,000 a year because it was expensive as fuck, right? And again, as I said, I made $4.05 an hour with my first fucking job. Bro, I worked 40 hours and didn't get 162.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was, I got 162 exactly, I think. I ain't gonna do the math here, but I mean, it was about 162 exactly, actually, for 40 hours worth of work. That's fucking insanity, bro. And then I have a baby. So I thought to myself, okay, cool. I gotta be smart now. It wasn't people in the neighborhood or other people that taught me. It was reality that taught me that, you can't have another kid until you can afford one. But and I'm not making an excuse. Nobody talks to us about reality. Nobody talks to us about credit. Nobody talks to us about, responsibilities outside. We're rushing to get out of the house at 18. We're the other group that also does that.
And maybe me personally, I've always thought 2, 3, 5, 10 years ahead. Like, I'm always thinking ahead of what decisions am I going to make? How are they going to impact me 6 months from now? How are they going to impact me a year from now? From a financial perspective, from a family planning perspective, I always have been a person that thinks ahead. So when I have somebody and I'm dating them or I'm messing with them and I'm like, this person will never make a good mother.
Why fuck with somebody like that though? Why fuck with it? Because every time you put your meat, you know what I'm saying, in the package, you risk the baby, the baby process. Like, why? And I asked my homies, I'm like, bro, why? If you are a man of childbearing capabilities, why have sex with a woman who is not worth being a mom? That's a legitimate question. Because if you knock her up,
the Lord ain't
way, bro.
Like, it is something where it is somewhere I had to start to look at, and I have said, as I get older and I start to become more of the person I feel like I'm gonna be for the rest of my life, from a financial perspective, from a protector perspective, from a person that can support a family, it is something where it's like, I used to be back in the day, I was just fucking with chicks that I wasn't even attracted to. But now it's kind of like I'm
just
starting
to get it off.
There's a lot more to lose here, right? So, yeah. Like, I was a person that I was a take one from the team ass nigga at the club with my boys. Like,
no.
That was me. Like, I got some women where if I ever became a millionaire and they came out, I just have to lie. I had to take that to the grave. Like, nope, I'll never meet this person whatsoever. Like, I'm embarrassed. But as I started to become like somebody, that was back when I didn't have a lot of self. Like, I'm thinking ahead where it's like, I'm thinking ahead enough to protect myself because one day I'm going to be someone. Now that I'm starting to be someone, I'm like, nah, I'm straight. I had a conversation.
See, you had that thought process. These dudes are like, woe is me, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird to me. I don't get it. Like, they're lacking drive, right? And as a business owner, you see it every day. Like, man, you can't even hire nobody because nobody wants to do shit. You know what I'm saying? You go to work and motherfuckers like, oh man, I ain't finna do that shit. This motherfucker's crazy. No, the motherfuckers pay you, right? Do the fucking job you get paid to do, right? But shit has changed, right? We all worked with a lazy motherfucker when we were younger. Now we all work with a motherfucker that's not lazy because the rest of them are, right? It's a different fucking world. But I don't know, me personally, like I said, we had a kid early, and I said, listen, we're gonna have we're not having another baby until I make a certain amount of money. And when we got to that point, we had another baby. And then we looked at each other and said, hey, do you want to have another baby? My wife's like, nope. I'm like, I don't either. She's like, well, we can, use birth control, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I'm over that. So I went and got cut because I'm done. Right. And if this marriage don't work out, I'm still done. Right. I'm not, because I'm I'm al natural. I like, you know what I'm saying? I like that original feeling, bro. I can't. I'm out there. I'm out the game. No more raincoats, bro. I got to get wet. That's me. You know what I'm saying? But I know that's me, right? So I respect you, bro, for I couldn't do it. Not today, right? Not at home, no sir.
Maybe for me it was a lot easier because, like I said, these wasn't women that I saw and my tongue was dropping. Like it wasn't. Now once I started getting like I said, the best ex that I had out, the one that I dated prior to my current, I was meeting that chick. Like it was no. We
don't give a shit if it's everything right. We don't give a shit about the rules.
You don't fuck about none of that shit I'm talking right now, right? However, at the time, I truly believed she didn't want a kid with a ninja like me just as much as I wasn't trying to have a kid out of wedlock or whatever the case was. So, she did what she had to do, and I didn't do what I should have did, but whatever the case is. But it's like people don't feel like they have self-worth. Like they have, I think I meet a lot of people where they're like, and this don't, because both of y'all have children, I don't mean disrespect by this, but if you say having your kid was like the highlight of your life and it never got any better after that, that says something to me, my G. That says something where it's just like
something was wrong.
That was it. Like that, and it don't even take much to have a kid. Like I could go knock up my woman tonight. Gee, and it's 7 seconds. You know what I mean? So it's like,
hey, listen.
Like me personally, I always saw, as far as me having an impact on my community, as far as me taking care of my extended family, not just my family, and leaving a legacy was always more important than, one of my uncles who had 3 kids by the time he was 19. You know what I mean?
Man, let rats have babies. That shit ain't difficult. You know what I'm saying? You can literally do it on accident. Right. And it's not, listen, the day your kids are born is an amazing day, right? Mm-hmm. I said, you can't say it's the best day of your life if you've got more than one because you're going to get fucked up. But it's an amazing day, right? The first, my son was born first, and that was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, right? Because I was also creepy, right? Because I'd never seen nothing like that, but it was amazing, right? And then my daughter came along, it was amazing as well. But my next, that's having them, that's watching them come to life, right? A creation, but your kids are a part of you, right? You're putting you into them to see them grow. That process is amazing. Oh, my kids moved out. Ooh, shit, that was nice, right? Because we started early. So about 44, we empty nesters. I went around in the house with nothing but a tie and some socks on, chasing booty, right? You know what I'm saying? That I could be free. I'm answering the door with a motherfucking marker. We don't got Martins with a Kroger bag on. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was. I watched my kids grow. That was a beautiful thing, right? But just if somebody says, man, having kids have saved some lives. I know some people, like, if they didn't have a kid, they would be fucked, right? Because something had to put them on the right path, and I respect that. But just, some motherfuckers just be making shit up because they got pregnant or they knocked somebody up. It should just be, it is what it is. Right? Most of the people I know who have babies was not with the person they had the baby with as long as it takes to actually create a baby from start to finish.
Yeah.
Right? Motherfuckers like, oh, man, I'm at this, bro, it happens. I'm at this motherfucker, and we was together 3 weeks, and she's pregnant. I'm like, you don't know why it didn't work out, because you didn't know who she was, right? It's I don't know, bro. I used to have, again,
it's that reckless to have babies with people that they just met and shit. Like
that shit is crazy.
I mean, I'm pretty certain nobody planned on that shit.
And I always had the mentality that there's 2 things that you can't take back in life, right? There's 2 things that you can't take back. You can't take back life. You can't take back death. So if you kill somebody and you go to prison and you get out of prison and nobody wants to fuck with you or they hate you forever, I understand it because you can't take back death. They're never going to get that person back. So if they want to hate you forever, you just got to eat that shit.
That's the cost of it.
That child is here forever, my G. Like, obviously, outside of abnormal circumstances, that person is person always going to be attached to you. So for me, I always took having children and protecting my seed like up because I know this is something that I can't go back on. No matter how much I don't like the baby mama at times, no matter how much it fucks up my financial situation or things that I want to do or the extra sleep, you're stuck with it. So I don't think people be thinking past the next 7 seconds, let alone the next 18 years, like Philip was talking about. So they just out there fucking. And they have babies with people that they don't necessarily know. And now here we are. We got a shitty situation where, you on Facebook talking about your baby mama as if someone feels sympathy for you.
I tell all my guys, I'm like, man, listen, who you create a life with should be the most important decision you 100%. Ever fucking make.
Yep.
Right? He's like I would tell my man, I ain't marrying that hoe, bro. I'm gonna tell you a secret about marriage. That's a smaller commitment than a child, right? Mm-hmm. If I don't have a child and me and my wife get divorced and aliens abduct her ass, I don't give a fuck because I never have to see her again, right? And I'm just saying, like, if you don't have kids, divorce is nothing. I shouldn't say that. You gotta give up financial shit, but it's nothing. But that kid is your kid for life, right? When you would want it until you kill over, or God forbid, something happened to the kid, that's still your responsibility. You go from being dad, right, when they're little, to take care of them if you act right, and then when they get grown, you're paying for shit, and then when they have grandkids, when they have kids, now you grandpops, right? That's a lifelong commitment. I will stand by this statement all day. If she's not worth being a wife, she's not worth being a mother. You know what I'm saying? You should not put a woman in that situation. And I'm not saying marry a chick just to marry her, but if you don't think she'll make a good wife, man, if she don't make a good wife to you, you could walk off on that mother. She'll make a good mother to your kid fucked.
You're stuck.
Right? And the same applies to men, right? If he ain't good husband material, he ain't good daddy material. Like, stop creating kids just to see how many you can fucking create. Because you got cool names and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got 6 kids with all first names start with J.
Like, I was with my lady for 12 years, you know what I'm saying? And fucking...
Bro, what happened? Can I ask that question? What happened? That's a long time. You mind sharing? If you don't want to share, I respect that.
This personal shit. My mom was diagnosed with cancer and shit, so I was stressing and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
you was fucking somebody else?
No,
you was fucking somebody else.
I think that's the thing.
Okay, just checking. Because sometimes we like to wrap that shit up.
That's one of those.
Okay.
Don't do it if you ain't gonna be cool with a motherfucker doing it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Respect. Respect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stressed out, you know what I'm saying? And I just asked her, like, when I come home from work, you know what I'm saying, can you help be my peace? Like, you don't have to be that peace. Just help me find that, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
How she grew up, you know what I'm saying, that she didn't have the best of parents, you know what I'm saying? Her pops passed away when she was 5, you know. And so she like how Jay was saying earlier, like, women when they don't grow up with that situation, they don't know how to adapt to that or how to hold that down. You know what I'm saying? So,
no doubt.
I had to start noticing that I was getting short with her. You know what I'm saying? Being rude and shit, like not giving a fuck. We got into an argument one night. It was we just came back from the bar and shit, kicking it. And probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock, we got into a little argument. She started yelling and shit, and I'm like, I don't fucking care. You know what I'm saying? So she left the house, and I really didn't care. Like, where the fuck she went, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And at that point, I knew, I'm like, hold
right, because
on,
I'll be freaking out.
And like I said, I got 3 daughters, you know what I'm saying? Like, regardless, that's my first commitment when it comes to life, you know what I'm saying? They have to understand that it's certain ways that you are not supposed to be treated, regardless of whatever the situation may be.
That's real shit, bro.
I'm like, okay, shit. So the next morning, I'm like, I sat and I put one in the air. I sat and thought to myself, like, I really didn't fucking care about where she went. And to me, that was...
Right. Her safety wasn't a concern. To me,
that was like, okay, so now it's obviously something that you either need to fall back from or address the situation. You know what I'm saying? So...
Right.
We started, I'm like, okay, so what's going on? Like, what it is? And it just led into, like, another argument. So I'm like, okay, so obviously I just need to fall back a little bit. So I'm like, okay, I made the decision to separate the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey.
That's real shit, bro. If you don't care about her safety,
I'm like,
you gotta, that's not going to go, it's going to get worse, not better.
Like, mentally, I was fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Like, depression and all that shit. Like, and I can admit it now because sitting on it, I'm like, damn. Because we don't talk about depression and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Sitting back on it, I'm like...
Not at all, bro. That shit very rarely
was probably depressed like a motherfucker when he was out there just not giving a fuck, you know what I'm saying? But in our little separation period, some shit had transpired, like nothing like her fucking around with none of the dudes. She just was doing some shit that she know I wouldn't do, you know?
Right. It was unacceptable shit.
So,
yeah.
And she didn't seem to, like, understand what my issue was with it. Even after explaining it, you know what I'm saying? She eventually came around and was like, okay, I understand what you meant and shit, you know? But after after that, throughout that time, you know what I'm saying, we just understood and figured out like we are, like we co-parent amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like
some people are better,
like we are
better
like,
motherfucking friends than in a relationship.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but we
Right.
co-parent dope. Like,
I mean, the kids benefit, bro.
like,
That's what it's about.
Dope. Like, don't know. Like, can't nobody say nothing bad about her because it's still to the point where, hey, if she was a baby mama, go for it. But she's the mother of my children. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. I like the differentiation there too. Yeah. No, I just wanted to touch on that because I always wonder. You know what I'm saying? When motherfuckers been together, and I'm with you, bro. I understand, right? That you know, when you go through shit, I lost my mom's at fucking. I lost my dad at 21 and my mom at 23. It fucks with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And me and my brothers, we all didn't handle it the same way. So I completely understand, bro. That's real shit. But I don't want to keep you on that. I just wanted to ask real quick.
It's cool, man. 'Cause it's still like, and like, it's been 5 years. And still to this day, I be sitting and thinking like, because when it first happened, man, I was real fucked up. Like, damn, man, I let my family down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm supposed to be doing this, and I ain't think this. You know what I'm saying? The crib I done bought, I had to sell. You know, split that bread. I had to buy a new crib and start over. And it's like, I got all this space. And I got my kids Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every other weekend and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see them every day because, you know, I coach their basketball teams and volleyball, gymnastics.
That's what's up, though. So you're doing the right shit.
But
you're doing the right shit, fam.
Some days it's like coming to that crib and it's like, damn. I'm hearing the smoke detector beeping, you know what I'm saying? I don't hear the kids going on. You know what I'm saying?
It's quiet. See, I grew up with the.
You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like
I grew up with the family in the house. When it's quiet, it's like I'm enjoying it.
And I was questioning myself, like, did I fail as a man? Did I?
Nah, fam, don't do that.
Oh yeah, no,
nah, don't do that.
But I understood. So, but it was always at first that damn, did I fall into that stereotype as a black man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Oh, and I always told myself I would not allow the streets to raise my daughters. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
I'm super active with my kids. Like,
that's what's up, man. So I admire that because I be yelling at motherfuckers who be like, "Oh man, my girl won't let me see the kids." I'm like, bro, you got every fucking pair of Jordans from when that motherfucker was a rookie to right now. You could have spent that money on an attorney. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and see, and I got a homeboy who I'm gonna call her his baby mama because she for sure a baby mama. Like, do weird shit like that though. You know what I'm saying? To be like, oh no, he's not coming with you this weekend. And he'd be like, bitch, what you talking about? Like, where my son at? You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's going with his plans at grandma's house and woo woo, and they come to find out they wasn't never at grandma's house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, I go back to dick discipline. Was she the right motherfucker? You should have, you know what I'm saying, been splashing in.
Of course not.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, bruh, what made you cut those, bruh? Like,
oh man, them cheeks was unclappable. Like, you weren't supposed to do that.
All women.
Out of all her homegirls, you cut those. Like,
he took one for the team. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was taking one for the team.
Listen, back in them days, I was pulling out with condoms on. I didn't give a fuck. Like, I was.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Listen, I was definitely not. Shit. And the thing is, it's like when you have that nuclear family like we had 100 years ago, you know everything that's going on. But when you got a baby mama, you can't control where she's going on the weekends with your children. You can't control who you just have to trust in their parenting skills, which you don't completely trust in their parenting skills because if you did, that'd be an incentive to stay with that individual, but clearly you're not for a reason. So it's like, it's just
and Pookie coming through.
Yeah,
like, Pookie coming through.
And I wouldn't necessarily say that too, because sometimes they think different when it comes to the kids. She may not make the best individual decisions, but when it comes to the shorties, you know, they gonna usually put their best foot forward unless she just an ain't shit ass baby mama. You know what I'm saying?
But your kids is watching that shit. That's the thing too for me. Is like,
if I'm not wilding, then that's something different.
Kids right behind her.
Yeah, that's
Kids right behind her.
It's some things for me like that I already know that I'd have to cut out because I know how observant children are, right? Where when you're watching someone do something and their behaviors, they mimic it. I remember watching my nieces
100%.
and nephews just completely like literally mimicking what their mom or my sister or whatever did. And it's like, I want to set the best example, not just directly telling you what to do, but also living in that purpose as well. And it's like, you want to be careful that person, I always say this, if I die, right, and this person has to raise my children by themselves, am I going to trust that they're going to make the best decisions, right? And if you have to even think about it, you'd be like, then it's probably a no-go. It's probably a no-go. Now, I understand not all of us believe in marriage and shit like that, but even from a co-parenting perspective,
absolutely,
you have to look at it as if I die and this person has to raise my children with the help of their mama or maybe my brother or some shit, what kind of shape is my kid going to be in? And if you can't say with confidence that they're going to do at least kind of okay without me,
that's a wrap.
Let me pull me another card.
Double wrap.
Pull me another card for the day.
Hey, fellas, listen. I absolutely appreciate this shit. We gotta do this shit again. Right? Because I can sit here and do this shit all night. Other than the fact I got a fucking 7 o'clock meeting somewhere in the morning. But
I gotta be
it's early morning. And oh shit! But you got an hour. So your 6 is my 7, so we on the same schedule.
Same way.
You know what I'm saying? But shit, man, listen, let's circle back, man. I appreciate y'all stopping through the Feelings Not Included podcast. We gotta do this. We should probably do this shit at least once a month, fam.
I'm down.
You know what I'm saying?
Sir. Let me know, man. I'll make time for the shit.
All right, fam. All right, appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good night, man. Thank y'all for stopping by.
See ya.